Are you tired of failed diets? Well, there are two new revolutionary peer-reviewed human trial studies that are going to change everything we thought we knew about diet, exercise, and nutrition. The studies just published in the prestigious Nutrition Journal and the Obesity Journal had men and women without allowing them to exercise. It was actually 80% women, 20% men. And yet they lost as much weight in a month as it took a year on diets that have been analyzed. And unlike diets where you lose lean muscle mass, people in the studies, even though they didn't exercise, gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. These results have never, ever been seen before. You see, the problem is that all diets today, when I hear the word diet, I hear deprivation, I hear caloric reduction. That all sounds good. We've been told that year after year after year after year. And I don't fault the medical doctors, the nutritionists, the dietitians, the gurus that you do see on TikTok and on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Here's the problem. If you're doing any of those programs and they don't have what's called a peer-reviewed human trial, you probably should run from it. Because here's what the evidence shows. It shows that on every diet, in major studies, the major thing you lose is your lean muscle mass. And the thing you have to understand, there's your downfall right there as to why you'll either plateau or maybe you'll lose the weight and you gain it all back. Look, the shots now are the big rage, and I'm not against the shots. It's great if someone can lose weight. But the New England Journal of Medicine just published a study, 68 weeks. The average weight loss after 68 weeks was about 36 pounds. And yet, their own studies, this is from the New England Journal of Medicine, not Peter Greenlaw's opinion, the majority of the weight loss was lean muscle. Also, what we're finding is that when those people come off the shot, they're gaining a half a pound to a pound a day. Because here's what happens. When you lower calories, which, by the way, the body doesn't know what a calorie is. The body doesn't count calories. Why are we counting calories? Because someone told us to, or one of these slick, ad funnels, whatever, a bunch of nonsense. I mean, here's the reality. 80% of Americans are overweight and 50% of those people are obese. We got 50% of our kids overweight and 25% of those kids are now obese. And 50% of America's pre-diabetic. Are you kidding me? And the U.S., this is from the CDC, not from me. That kind of rhymes, but the CDC has said that 92.3% of the American population is metabolically unhealthy with 3 of 5 factors. They're either overweight, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, cholesterol, or triglycerides. Well, in these new studies, these 2 new studies in Nutrition Journal and Obesity Journal, all 5 of those factors came down in just 30 days. Inflammation came down 25% in 30 days. And it was measured for, maybe any of the medical people might be listening to this, by something called T-bars. It measures, I don't mean to get too nerdy, but it measures something called C-reactive protein and interleukin-1, which are the measurements of inflammation in the body. Well, the medical community's come out and said inflammation is the underlying cause of about every disease out there. So do you think maybe lowering your inflammation would be a good thing? Yeah. And in 8 weeks, people lost 33% of their visceral fat. Let me repeat that. In 8 weeks, with no one allowed to exercise, they lost 33% of their visceral fat. In one of the studies, because some of the people are saying, well, obviously on this, they consume less calories. No, that's not true. In the one study done in the Obesity Journal that compared this new protocol called R2M, which is based on 2 new revolutionary principles, intermittent nutritional fasting, not intermittent fasting, not eat 16-8, that whole thing. That's all been blown out of the water. As a matter of fact, the Annals of Internal Medicine did a 12-month study on intermittent fasting, what's called time-restricted eating, where you only eat for 8 hours during the course of a day. In a year, the weight loss, 10 pounds in a year. I mean, you do what you want. And look, here's the point. You can go on any diet you want. You'll definitely lose weight. But the weight you're losing is your lean muscle mass, which is the last thing you want to have happen. So the reason the researchers were so stunned, they've been doing this for 40 years. And in all the studies, they always did blood, urine, and stool analysis. And when they saw things like, for example, not only did blood sugar came down, but the need for insulin reduced by 41% in 30 days. See, normally when you drive blood sugar down by applying drugs, then insulin goes up. The reverse happened here. So needless to say, those participants were really, really happy. So really, the main thing is you can believe whoever you want, but do they have peer-reviewed human trials? See, this is a natural solution backed up medically. That's never happened before. So all the commercials, all the celebrity endorsements, everything you see, they don't have one shred of evidence. If you really believe in science, then I would encourage you to go to the link below. It'll take you to the website. You'll see the actual studies, the results of the studies. You'll see before and after pictures, and you'll think we photoshopped them, but we didn't. There are people in there that lost like 100 pounds. One of the things you should notice is that people don't have loose skin. Well, that's happening because when you're reducing the visceral fat, the body's replacing that with the lean muscle that it's building. Oh, one other thing I should tell you, the researchers weren't against exercise, but they didn't want exercise to be an outlier. In other words, a contributing factor. And back to the thing about the calories. So the one study compared what's called the heart healthy diet. It's really the Mediterranean diet, which is the #1 diet year after year after year when they rank all the diets, okay? Well, it turned out the people on the R2M protocol were actually consuming more calories than the people that were doing the Mediterranean or the heart healthy diet. So that got blown out of the water. Look, I know you're skeptical. You'd have to be. But again, when you have peer-reviewed human trials, they've already been peer-reviewed because the job of the peer reviewers is to discredit what you're trying to prove. That's why no drug would ever get approved that didn't go through the peer review process. It goes through clinical trials. That's preliminary. That's like the warm-up. That's not the final. The final is a peer-reviewed human trial. So I invite you, I hope to inspire you, go to the website, see for yourself. And if you like what you see, we'll schedule a free consultation with you. Free. No tricks. We're not going to try and sell you or convince you. We don't need to do that. We have science on our side that nobody else does. So if you want to go with just someone that's giving you their opinion without any medical evidence, I'm not against it, just like I'm not against the shots. But you need to understand the reality that all the shot really is, it's a way it slows down the food going through your digestive tract, so you eat less. Again, it's a diet. Diets mean code word for deprivation. So I really think this is probably going to change the world. It's going to change everything that we ever thought we knew. And I've been a researcher for 20 years. I've written 4 best-selling books out with medical doctors. I've had 20 shows on PBS and over 1,500 lectures all over the world. So for 19 years, we had before and afters, we had good stories, we had anecdotes. But now we have the only hard medical peer-reviewed human trial evidence. So I'm really excited about the future and hope that you will take the time to go take a look for you and to see really what's possible.